gonna stand there and admire your work, huh? No class.
This looks great. I think we have a perfect report on our hands.
Oh, seriously? Oh, you just jinxed it. Look, I ended a sentence with a preposition right there. Just Mickey Mouse grammar. Ah. And that's why you're my favorite player, Brian McCann, because you know the rules.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it. Box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined as always by the Danettes out in Milford, Connecticut. Guys, I'm sure there's a lot of unwritten rules in the man cave. Paulie, what are some of the ones that are broken the most?
Broken the most? Wow. That's a tough one, but Brock, I'll say an unwritten rule that we have here is if you mention something around us during, after the show, it could be used on air and probably will be used on air, and you don't really have a complaint.
Yeah, that's something I've learned the hard way a number of times, and you would think with my big mouth and some of the wacky things I've said, and they've tried very hard to reel me in, that I would learn my lesson and not wait till the doors are locked on the house going home from the wife. So that's definitely a good one.
There's lots of things around Dan, like certain things you don't tell Dan, like 2 minutes before a show, if you said, oh, the printer is broken, anything technical like that was there's nothing that affects Dan in any way. He will immediately start to focus on that and lose focus on the show ahead because he's very detail oriented. So you got to stay away from certain things.
One of the unwritten rules is not to drop the ball. And apparently, McLovin, you dropped the ball when Dan asked you what your wife's response was to Miss Colleen yesterday.
She said, she just laughed. She didn't say anything.
So what was the...
She's basically said that she has you number one.
Am I surprising you with this topic here, dude?
Well, I guess I oversold the story. The point was, the funny thing too was that the thesis, we think that she thought I was attractive because she thought I was the oldest Danette, and therefore in her age group, the woman who sent it on Facebook.
Can you tell that again?
No.
That killed.
I'm putting up the caption contest thing on my pink shirt. I got distracted.
I said we were going to talk about this.
That's on you, bro. I would not have gone with this topic.
Yeah, McLovin, after seeing that, I apologize. That was clear as a bell. No, what happened there was Dan basically handed the story off. It's called a handoff. He handed the story off to McLovin, and McLovin should have set up the story a little more for those people who didn't watch the entire show yesterday, that a woman on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And so I was telling him, like, come on, set it up. But I can't yell, set it up at him.
I know, but Paulie was making that exact hand motion you just saw, and I thought that meant hurry up. So in my mind, I thought it said hurry up. Because also, like, it's similar to the hurry up. So I'm like, all right, I got to get this in quick. And I'm like, how do I hurry this story? And I just got all jumbled in my head.
And McLovin uttered a very brave, that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
Bro,
ballsy.
Made more of my story than it was. That was wild.
A lot of swagger there. McLovin tried to remain mum on the issue until the end of the first hour. And then on the way to the box, he was issued this ultimatum.
I'll leave it up to you. You go in there, you reveal what your wife told you, because you wanted to tell us this morning, 2 hours ago. So go in there, go big or go home.
You tapped out.
Too much.
I saw the light on and I thought he was in there being quiet. All right.
Where's he going?
I'm going home. I told him, you're not going to tell me what your wife told you, that you wanted to have a big show, big story.
Really
he said go home? Yeah, go home.
He could still contribute without his
Not really.
on.
You know, the weird thing is I didn't even hear the conversation that happened in Dan's side, and I really had no idea what was going on. I just saw Andrew pick up his backpack and leave, and it didn't even really, I was like, all right, see you later.
You didn't seem that concerned.
No offense, dude. I was kind of
No
like,
offense.
all right, I'll see you later then. And So what are we doing next? It just sort of,
Well, at
not
least-
that it went over my head, it just didn't really register.
At least Todd jumped in with, he could still contribute without his mic on. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
It was very uncomfortable for me seeing you packing up and leaving. I like having you next to me. It's comfortable, and I was like shocked that that led to you being dismissed.
Yeah, you battled for him.
Yeah. Part of me was like thinking about all the things I could do if I left it. It was about 10 o'clock Eastern. I'm like, oh my God, I can go get some work done on my car. There are all these errands I need to catch up on. So part of me had that in mind, but that was, obviously I was a little afraid.
Well, we were lucky enough to catch you on your way out of Dodge there, McLovin, and you popped a cork and poured us a little glass of fine wine.
Fine wine with McLovin.
Andy, how do you feel? I'm not talking to you. Get away from me. No more cameras!
Andy, just one word.
No! No! Let me live my own life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know what it's like to have the paparazzi stalk you during controversy now. It's not comfortable, It's a tough moment, and they're following me out.
Two things.
Hot, too.
Two things bother me about that bit, McLovin. That's obviously scripted because you would never tell the cameras to go away from you.
Right.
And secondly, was that an homage to Friday Night Lights? I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
I kind of think about it. It was kind of out of nowhere. Let me live my life. You're right. I was channeling James Vanderbilt.
It was a Jonathan Moxon homage.
That was weird. I don't know where that came from.
It was bizarre.
Well, thankfully, it wasn't the whipped cream bikini. Coming up, the McLovin drama doesn't end there. We will find out also how he earned a seat back in the man cave. He corrects grammar in tweets. He always thinks the book is better than the movie. He doesn't really need glasses. He refers to raw vegetables as crudités. He has a subscription to the Wall Street Journal and actually reads it. His diet is gluten-free, although he doesn't have a gluten allergy.
I'm not always pretentious, but when I'm at my most pretentious, it's on the box score.
What a pretentious nut there. Welcome back to the box score. The guys enjoyed a brief period where there was no McLovin in the man cave. Seton, maybe a loaded question. How nice was it not having him around?
No lie, I think we missed Andrew. It wasn't nice at all. There was a point where Dan threw out some random current NFL story like, hey, this is happening right now, and that usually would have been Andrew filling that gap. And he's like, isn't that right? Jimmy Lipper's got a thing going on right now. And we're all like, yeah, Dan, I think that's right. I'm pretty sure you were accurate.
He asked which quarterback's coming up next, and I just remember we were talking about Big Ben a few weeks ago. I knew Cam Newton, and I knew Alex Smith, and I would have said, how about Alex Smith?
Yeah.
But instead
just silence.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We're all just kind of.
But then we emailed Florio. We got a much more comprehensive, information-filled, accurate list. So it all worked out in the end.
Well, it might have been a little nerve-wracking not having him in there, but eventually he found his way back in.
He's out there.
Look at him.
Do I let him in?
Well, he gave the order.
Yeah.
Sorry, Todd.
Like that. Usually I like the bad cleanup, but not in this situation.
He would actually be upset if he's last.
Yeah. So McLovin's wife thinks you're the ugliest.
Disappointed in that.
Danette.
At least good looking? Is that a nicer way to say it?
I feel like Fritzy was 7th.
Wow, 1, 2, 3, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no good way to say it's like putting earrings on a pig or whatever is the phrase. You know, normally, as I mentioned, I like to bat in the cleanup spot, but this isn't Little League. This is talking about level of attractiveness or handsomeness, and to see myself at the bottom of that list, especially on some poster while people are walking back and forth through the streets of Connecticut.
Yeah, but they didn't know what that list was.
You know what? But you know how I am. It was very hurtful, and I sit next to this guy, every day, and to know and to realize now that all this time his wife finds me the least appealing.
Well,
I'm not disputing it, but I will say that just seeing it out front and being put out there like that, and on an art project, was hurtful.
Here's a big question now. At the Christmas Christmas party this year that Dan always has, will you give a hug, kiss to Mrs. Perloff?
I think I will probably tip my cap or just kind of grin and just keep my distance. If there's a hug involved, it won't be initiated by me. And
that is a lie.
It'll be very brief.
No.
That is a lie.
That's the strongest.
Are you kidding me? He's going to wrap his arms around her like he hasn't seen her in 10 years.
You know what? That's very true, and I hope she'll come to her senses.
What is the line of where you won't hug a woman? Like, what does she have to do?
There's no line unless she's holding a sign that says, "Please don't touch me, Fritzy." Or
AKA restraining order.
Yes. Or she's got some kind of one of those Pope things that he drives around in with the glass.
Bubble, a hug bubble.
Right, so you can't get anywhere near the person. That would be a bit of a hint to stay away.
McLovin, do you think if you had actually gone home, would they have allowed you back in tomorrow?
I think Dan would have been a little upset if I'd actually gone home. I think it was fun for a while. I think he respected me a little bit. Actually, Dan actually respected that I sort of manned up and sort of protected my wife's list there for a minute. But I think if I just left that, in all reality, I don't think that would have played over well.
I didn't take that at all as permission for McLovin to call it a day and come back Wednesday and then having to worry all night. At least I would, whether you're going to be welcome when you come back Wednesday morning. That was kind of
Or even worse, what if I wasn't missed at all? That'd be like, that ain't good either.
Whose wrath are you guys more in fear of, your wives or Dan's?
Dan by far.
Dan by a mile.
Really?
Oh, no way, my wife, dude.
Oh,
what?
I was
No
gonna say.
way.
Oh, Dan's right.
I'm not worried about Dan, dude. My wife, though, she could throw down, dude. I'm not interested in that.
My wife
at all.
gets angry at me 12 times a day. I'm so used to it now, like it doesn't even make a dent. When Dan gets mad, that's serious.
Yeah, what I've gotten away with some of the things I've said in and out of the box, it seems clear to me that I've got a lot of leeway. But when Dan gives you that look or wants to talk to you on the other side of the glass before or after the show, that's by far worse than anything my wife can judge.
Broccoli, what do you think about that? Front row siding with the wives, back row more scared of Dan. What do you weigh in on this?
I say there's a huge rift in the back row marriages. What do you guys say?
Wow, you know what? Actually, I think they're strong to put up with some of the shenanigans back there. But I think, Brock, you may have to do like an informal, chit chat with some of the wives to get their opinion. Maybe some off the record answers. Yeah. Certain things, Brock. The I-Team can provide you numbers, emails.
I don't think that's a good idea at all.
Which means you should do it for sure.
I don't think this is a good idea at all.
No, I'm not a big fan of that.
No, I don't envy the back row wives. I mean, like Fritzy's wife, she has to build him up today. Fritzy was all depressed, and then Veronica in Texas calls in, and after she said DP was numero uno, DP asked her this.
Who's number 2, Veronica?
Yeah, well, Fritzy is sexy in a kind of teddy bear way, but the others, I don't know. McLovin, just think about who he's named after.
What about hot?
Oh, you're hot, yeah.
Okay. Who is second on the hot list? Is it Teddy Bear Fritzy? Okay, Fritzy is second hottest. So the least attractive person on this show then is McLovin, according to you.
Well, no, I think it would have to be Seaton with all the tats. That doesn't do much for me.
Wow, he's boy band hot, Veronica.
Not my boy band.
I don't blame Veronica at all. I mean, tattoos aren't everybody's thing, and Todd Fritz is just dripping with sexuality at every possible minute. How could you not find that guy attractive? I totally get it. The guy's a stud.
Girls don't dig tattoos. They like guys who are teddy bear-like. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that. Initially, I was like, well, any kind of hot is still hot. But then after further review and letting it sink in about the teddy bear thing, and teddy bears are kind of big and soft, and like the more I played around with it in my head, it didn't seem really hot at all.
And to be fair, when she was born, tattoos hadn't been invented yet. Teddy bears had.
Oh, snap.
So it's a little more of a different demographic there.
Boom, take that. You know what, actually, true story, my wife, every time I tell her I'm going to get another tattoo, at this point she's kind of given up on it, but now she's like, please don't do your neck, please don't do your face, please don't do your hands. Hands might be an issue. But she's like, when I met you, you had like 2 tattoos that I couldn't see anymore, and you're slowly getting covered. And sometimes I get a little bit of like,
what I buy into there?
I'll just
let me ask you a
go
question.
along with it.
If your wife, and I know your wife's open-minded, she wouldn't do this. If she said, you know what? I think we're done with the tattoos.
Yeah.
Your response would be, because she's not saying I'm ordering you to,
right.
But would that be almost like, I'll pull the plug?
Probably not.
What if she said it like,
hey, I think we're done? It'd be like, all right, well, that means that you're done with the tattoos. She doesn't have any. But I'd be like, probably not. I mean, I'm not going to blow up my whole family and like my marriage over my tattoos, but I don't think that my wife would do that.
People like Dave Navarro would disagree. Stay with us. We'll stop all the tattoo talk and who's hot and all that stuff. And we're going right to fart humor. The Box Score presents Great Moments in DP Show History.
19, 20.
Wait, what was that?
Something slipped out there.
Thanks for watching Great Moments in DP Show History. Welcome back to the Box Score. McLovin letting one go there in that classic clip. McLovin, how are you able to bench press 200 pounds and not have a musical booty?
I don't know, man. It was tough. Maybe the mics just didn't pick it up during the bench press. That's my only explanation.
Well, it's strange because, today we caught a similar sound coming from Fritzy when he came out of the box. See if you can tell us what this is.
It's tough. I'm sitting next to the guy the rest of the show, and from here on in, knowing that his wife finds me the least attractive of the group, it's going to be tough to get through.
Wow, that's a tough one. As much as I'd like to indict Fritzy, I'm an expert with hearing, as is Seton O'Connor. I think that's a vinyl chair thigh rubbing situation, not a gas.
However, just to play conspiracy theorist here, what better way to cover up breaking wind than the vinyl chair? Get up and
Oh, I could easily do it. A purposeful arm rub to cover some gaseous excretions.
Exactly. Todd's a veteran. He knows what he's doing.
He's been around that lifestyle forever.
I got plenty of gas. In that particular instance, that was not an original sound. That was,
or was it?
Well, how do you know?
Chair related. Because you could feel if something's coming out.
But the thing is, you're wearing pants. Now, pants wouldn't make that kind of noise on a faux leather chair that we have in there.
No, but with the extra care I take in with the no underwear situation, I'm that extra careful to make sure that no gas is released, so that there's no spotting. I don't know how you want to.
Spotting.
I'll just
gross, dude.
So I'm very, very careful.
It's not the right thing at all.
I'm not going to take a chance for the rest of the day with
I'm
that
not
situation.
disagreeing with you, Fritzy, but we did send this to our audio expert. We were able to filter it and amplify it. Here's what we came up with.
His wife finds me the least attractive of the group. It's going to be tough to get through. Extremely weak. That's
clear as day, my friend.
No two farts are the same, and that sounds way too much like something that emanated from McLovin during push-ups.
Is that a scientific fact that no two farts are
They're
the
like
same?
snowflakes. No farts and snowflakes. I read that somewhere. I thought it was like some kind of New York Times.
New
York Times science section.
So I don't think any two could ever be exactly the same if you put it up, with different audio waves. So
is that libelous, Fritzy?
I'm troubled by what was dubbed in there, and this is not going to go unpunished.
No two farts.
Well, don't. Farts and snowflakes. Never heard that in the same sentence. Fritzy, don't worry.
No,
at least your son
something.
looks up to you. I mean, he wrote this lovely literary piece a few years ago in tribute to you. I love it when you call me buttercakes or butter, and when you make very stinky farts. I mean, how sweet is that?
Wow, that's digging deep into the trenches there. Yeah, that was a drawing from my son, and very embarrassing on open school night with the teachers to explain what that was all about.
Did he read that in front of some type of class?
I'm not sure if he read it in front of the class, but it was something that, at the very least, the teacher was aware of. All the art projects had to be handed in. That was a homework assignment. So for sure, soon after when we had to go talk to the teachers, I was very concerned about that piece of artwork coming up in conversation. So you just walk around the house passing gas in front of your kids? This is what you teach your children?
Well, at the Box Score, we apparently teach them bad parenting. Stay with us. We caught a Danette looking at some naughty stuff, and it wasn't Fritzy. Welcome Welcome back to the Box Score. Last call here at the Box Score bar. Pour them early and often. Seton, you run the board during a national radio show. How intense is that job?
Oh boy, it's like, it's super intense. A lot of pressure. It's all running right through these fingertips here. So I'd start to explain some of this to you, but it's like trying to explain landing the moon in 30 seconds. You really can't do it.
I don't think I'd want to, but it can't be a little too intense. You found some free time to do this. We caught you looking at some provocative cheeks during the show today. Care to explain what you have on your computer screen?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, you know, you get burned by the old Twitter timeline. You're like flipping through like various sports websites and whatever else. I happen to follow a lot of tattoo type programming, and then this that just popped up in my popped up.
That's what she said.
That just appeared in my timeline, and it was like all of a sudden it was like I got a shock. I was like, oh crap, and you have to get rid of that real quick. And yeah, don't worry, Twitter let me know about it.
Yeah, it happens to all of us, Brock. Like a couple weeks ago, I was looking for a bicycle for my daughter, and some guy goes, hey, bicycle shopping? That's a little small and pink for you. And they had a picture of my screen, and there's like a pink bike on my screen.
Better than some scantily clothed.
If you could forward that when you get a free moment, that would be.
Yeah, Fritzy, you're staring a hole through that screen. What would you rate that booty?
That's a 8.5 at least. You know what? I'll round it off. I'm going to go 9 right there. That's strong. She's in good shape.
She must work out.
She must do some kind of glute exercise, some kind of squatting's involved.
Fritzy, would you pick the treadmill right behind her, or would you go one over and throw her off?
I'm gonna go behind her because that's something that would help me get through that last mile on the treadmill. Next to her is not going to do a whole lot. She's probably got her headphones on. She's not going to want me to chat her up. So you know, enjoy the view and push through that last mile.
When the hot girl leaves on the treadmill, is that when you call it a workout?
Usually wrap up soon after that, because then all the momentum's gone, all the fantasies of that. The reason why she's there in the first place is because I was there next to her, and then there's really no reason to continue the workout at that point. And then after that, I just kind of go a couple of sets of biceps in front of the mirror and head to the parking lot.
Fritzy, have you ever been caught by a woman staring at the gym?
I did get there were a couple of times where I thought someone was through the corner of their eye was looking at me, and then soon after they got off the treadmill and they went to the front desk, and I was concerned that I was getting ratted out, or I was going to lose my gym membership, or I was going to get kicked out of the gym. But then it turned out that I guess she was paged or something, or that someone was calling looking for her. But for a split second there, I thought there was a good chance I was going to have a membership disqualification of some sort, and they were going to just take my.
They either disqualify you or they don't. It's not like.
Sir, this woman saying that you're staring inappropriately.
I was going to be ratted out for sexually harassing women at the gym.
So I got a little panicky and sweaty, and I started thinking of other gyms in the area that I may want to look into.
There's only so many gyms, man. Once the word gets out.
You're done.
Yeah, I feel you would walk into a conversation and overhear, was it the bald guy? Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
John Daly will join us tomorrow, and the Red Rifle himself, Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton, will stop by as part of the Wednesday edition.
Oh, Dalton! Oh, my goodness. Thanks for watching the Box Score. Set your DVR or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on Audience Channel 239, right here on DirecTV. Hi, Mom.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees. Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!